Greetings, everyone. I hope everybody's having a really good day. Today, your hosts are myself, Wendy Napolitano, Susan Mulhern, and Margaret O'Brien. We are celebrating World Dragon Day a little bit late, but so we're calling our event Dragons and Other Earth Guardians. This is our fourth year hosting this event, and this is the year that we decided to add Earth Guardians because as we do an Elemental Realms series, the Earth Guardians have been asking us to do an event that included them for some time now, and this is our first opportunity to go ahead and add them in. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to give you a little bio of my information, and then I'll switch it over to Susan, and she'll give you a little of her bio. She'll go ahead and talk about dragons for a little bit. And then our lovely Margaret will be giving us a dragon meditation that she channeled. And we've actually gone through it once. It's very cleansing, clearing, and loving. So I know that you'll really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said, I'm Wendy Napolitano, and I began my metaphysical experiences with a clairaudient experience when I was a little bit older than 6.5. And then I've had my metaphysical and psychic experiences from then on. I really began this journey with working with doing healing services, and it's like a quantum healing hypnosis technique, only it's different. It's more like a guided meditation, but I work as a regression and helping clear blocks and many other fun things within quantum. And there's been a lot of people that I've assisted with healing things like, I'll say the big C word, because that has happened, and I've done some healing work for that, for spine injuries, for knee injuries, and other miscellaneous traumas that some people have experienced. I've had over 200 clients and around the world, not just here in the US, which is where I reside, but that's kind of the majority of my background. Started working with channeling, and that's been just a couple of years. I do Kundalini, Reiki, and was initiated actually by Susan last year, as well as uh, other Kundalini. I work with Dragon Kundalini as well, so that's always exciting and fun. It's a fun experience. So let's see, if I missed anything that I needed to mention, Susan. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and let you give a little bit about your background. I believe we'll put in the description our contact information, so I won't bother giving all of that information now.
Okay. Do you want to share some of your experiences now or later?
I'll wait to go into some of the experiences after you kind of give some of your background in that, and then I'll add on.
Okay, sounds good. So, thank you everyone for joining with us now or later. And we have a lot of dragon connections, and we've been doing an Elemental Realm series of videos of live channeling events for about 3 years now, I believe. And actually, this event even preceded that. We've been doing World Dragon Day events for in the month of October for the last 4 years. This will be the fourth year. And because we have a lot of dragon connections, we channel the dragons, speak their light language, translate their light language. We've found out Wendy and I have had other dragon lifetimes, including one where we were sisters and one where I was her daughter in Lemurian times. So we've been going through kind of an accelerated awakening. And for me, it's been since about 2019 when I took my first channeling class 5 years ago. And I've taken like four of them at this time. But I spent about 10 years prior to that taking psychic mediumship classes and even going back like 25 years or more doing uh, Asui Reiki, Kundalini Reiki, and also Wendy and we've done taken classes as others in this group have for galactic energy healing as well. And so we are practitioners and teachers of that. So we've had many, different abilities, gifts that have shown up for us, especially in the last, 4 or 5 years. And, but some of our connections. So after I had a past life regression in 2022 where I saw me flying etherically with my dragon family. I saw I looked to the left, saw my dragon mother, what she looked like. I've seen when I channel the dragons, I'll like usually see like a profile of either a full frontal of their face or a profile of their face, neck, eyes, usually not the full body, but I'll sometimes get a glimpse of the body as well. We've channeled like our um, dragon mother, who is Satira from, she's a Sacred Heart dragon, similar to the pink color of Wendy's dragon behind her, with green eyes. Our father and our is Centaurus, and we have an uncle Eonor, and they're both from Andromeda star system. They're golden flame dragons and from the Galactic Dragon Collective. And our father is also part of the Universal Council of 500. Um, so we've learned all these different things about ourselves, as well as learned about our soul dragons, learned about our lifetimes as dragons or dragon humanoid shape-shifting humanoid dragons, where we could shape-shift between the dragon form and the human form at will. And I guess not all dragons have that ability, but because of where we come from, we have that ability. So it's been quite an interesting ride. And then we've also connected to other elemental beings, some of which are, the Earth Guardians we'll talk about, which is Sasquatch. So both Wendy and I have connected, and her grandson with Sally the Sasquatch. She can tell you a little bit about her, but she has beautiful Earth Mother energy. She resides in the Pacific Northwest. I think she's actually now off planet. I think I've heard more recently, and because of the rising energies with the ascension on the planet. And um, but there's also, we've learned, there's uh, more of a etheric spirit energy within plant life. Within, there's a spirit of plant life, which Bernie, who Wendy will speak about, that she's connected with, is connected kind of like that green man energy that helps keep the earth energies in balance with plant life. And then there's also ones that are, so there's a spiritual, I guess, consciousness named Eka, who is also connected with like the Dragonfly Connect Collective, which we've done a event with the Dragonfly Collective, and the bees and things like that. They help with the insects. And then there's also, um, I think it's called Eliposh, that is a being that assists with the animals on the planet. Um, and so we'll delve into more about that. We'll do some channeling and light language later on following the meditation. But Wendy's going to speak a little bit about some of her experiences with dragons that she's connected with. And we also both connect with baby dragons as well. Some of our dragon guides have shared their babies with us, who are learning through our channelings and the human dragon interactions that we do. They're learning from us as much as we learn from them. They have beautiful lighthearted energy, which may come through our light language later, so something to look forward to.
Yeah, so thank you, Susan. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think I'll start out with the Sasquatch story because I think that's very interesting, and then I'll tap back in. But so after we had channeled Sally Sasquatch, Susan channeled her, and then we were both had made the decision to like accept her energy. And then I remember during her channeling, she said that normally they won't, individuals who say, yes, I'll work with Sasquatch, they don't invite them into their home. They'll say, you can be around my home, you can energetically be in my home, but, preferably like don't dimensionally step into my home because they put off a bit of an odor. Right. So anyway, so we had channeled her a couple of times, and then I ended up channeling her, or at least I was getting messages. I don't remember if we recorded any of me channeling her, but anyway, so I had my grandson staying here with, his family, and so my daughter and her other kids and husband. So, but anyway, while he was staying the night prior, we actually had a skunk in our backyard. And so we were like, ew, skunk smell. And so we were talking about the skunk smell and how stinky it was, right? And so anyway, but we were watching him because you could see him kind of crossing our patio and whatever. So the next morning, my grandson comes in early, much earlier than I prefer to wake up. But they're little ones and they have earlier time schedule. So anyway, so he comes into the room and he's like, Gigi, Gigi. And he goes, get up, Gigi, because we were gonna go do our outing. And so I was like, all right, let me get up. And then he scrunches his little face up and he's like wiggling his nose, and he was like, ew, Gigi, what's that smell? And I said, Maverick, I said, I have no idea. What are you smelling? And I was trying to smell. And I'm like, I really don't smell anything that smells rank in here. So anyway, so I'm encouraging him, and I said, well, I don't know. I said, let's open the window and see if that's outside. And so I opened the window and I was like, is it still the skunk smell? And he says, no, it's not the skunk smell. And he's still scrunching up his nose and sniffing the air. And he's like, no, Gigi, much worse. Now he was 4 when this happened. So, and it was a couple of years ago. And I remember saying to him, I said, much worse. And he said, ooh, really stinky, Gigi. so so then it was about 2 months later. And so I said, well, I said, maybe it's Sally Sasquatch. And so I had a little picture magnet of a Sasquatch on my refrigerator and I showed it to him and we talked about it a little bit. So then it was, I don't know, a month to 2 months later, or 6 to 8 weeks. Anyway, within that time frame, right? I'm sitting at my desk, which is pretty much right where I am now, and just working, not really thinking about anything. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, that stinky odor, rotting foliage, like you just are standing at the edge of a swamp smell came to my nose. And I was like, ew. And then I heard Sally Sasquatch pop into my mind. And I was like, oh my God, Sally. I said, thank you for letting me experience that, because I have all my clears open. So I have all of those gifts, where, you're seeing, you're hearing, you're sensing, you're smelling, your claircognizance and clairvoyance. It's all there. It's all open and going full stream ahead. But anyway, I remember sitting there going, oh my God. This is terrible. So, so that year it actually was raining quite a bit, and I had a garbage, like a pail, a bucket, where I had some like just weeds and garden weeds and stuff that I had put in there, and old dead flowers and that I had clipped off, and it was sitting in there, and it was wet, and it started to decompose. And when I went to go, I was like, oh, I should probably dump this, and I hadn't realized there was water sitting in it. And then when I went to lift it, I was like, oh my God, it's that same smell. So that's why I have that very clear association of like what it smells like, what the experience is. But one of the things that she did say, so from the Sasquatch as an earth guardian point of view, is that she will help with plant medicine. And so if you're working at all with any plant medicine, please feel free to call on Sasquatch, because they're very close to working with earth beings, with the earth plants and minerals and that sort of thing. So, if you're feeling like you want to connect and ask questions, I would highly recommend that you do that and ask Sasquatch to assist with that. But one of the other experiences that I more recently had was with Bernie. And Susan talked about Bernie a little bit. And so basically, I do a lot of astral travel in my dream time. I'll call it dream time because that's what it feels like. You go to sleep here, but then you're always busy doing something else somewhere else. So I was during this astral travel, and it feels very real, like you're there. And I actually will physically feel things, like smell things in my dreams. If something's wet and watery, I'll feel the water on my arms, that like raining and that sort of thing. So anyway, I was in this office building, and while I was in the office building, I was upstairs and I was talking to a group of people, and they had their different, offices and that. And so then I was getting ready to come down down the stairs, and I took an elevator ride down, and then I took some stairs down. But before I left, as I was going through the office, I was like grabbing all these candies. And so I had all these candies and sweets in my hand, and then I was like heading down. And so as I was going downstairs, I opened this door, and as I opened this door to go into the room, it's pitch black in there and I can't see a thing. So I'm just standing there with my handful of candy, and I'm standing there, and then all of a sudden somebody grabs my arm and says, "Come with me." And I was like, my first reaction was, I'm not going anywhere with you until I see who you are. And so then all of a sudden I get this flashlight image, and almost like when you see those movies where they hold a flashlight under their face and then they're lit up from below. And so that's how it is. So I see this kind of this yellow light come on, almost like a bug light, right? So a yellow light, because again, pitch black in this room. And then I see him lit up. And Bernie is he's a very large being, and he's got a big face, like a face about what you would consider the size of your own torso, like a big face. And he's all green, kind of like, I would say, the color of Shrek, or the color of Shrek. Everybody knows that movie and that coloration, but just kind of a big, oval round head. And then he says, follow me or not, or something like that. And so he starts to turn around and walk. And in the meantime, after we had made eye contact, and he turns and he starts walking down like this cement walkway. And as he's walking, my eyes have adjusted now to the dark. And as I continue to walk, again, my astral dreams are very detailed. So as we're walking, this alligator, like not an alligator, more of a crocodile looking being, comes out of the water, and he's very colorful. He's almost looked like these rainbow colors of pinks and orange and yellow. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and then he just kind of sits there with his little paws on the edge and his head kind of sticking out of the water. And then I continue to follow Bernie. And so Bernie's wearing these very earth colors, and, kind of brown pants, and kind of like a beige linen kind of top, and like a tunic. And so that was my first experience with the Earth Guardian. And then I started getting messages that they wanted us to connect with them more. And so as we started doing more investigative work, we were finding out that, they're working with the inner Earth. And as 5D is being created, I had more of an experience with that dream, but I'm not going to go into all of that, because that'll take another half hour. But anyway, so the Earth Guardians, they're placed in certain locations within our planet. And so there's many thousands of them, and they're based within the ley line. So if you've ever picked up a ley line map, not only are these inner Earth beings, these guardians, working to assist our Earth with balance and, raising the vibration and energies, but the dragons are as well. And one of my first interactions, I should say, with the dragon, I was doing automatic writing. And when I had gotten this name Quanon, and I was like, Quanon, like, who's Quanon? And then Quanon had me draw a dragon. So, and I was like, okay, like I really had connected with dragons. I always had a love and affiliation for them, and had read, when I was a teenager, a big dragon series. And so at one time in my life, I wanted to get a golden dragon tattooed on my back. Never did it, but the thought was always there for me. So anyway, I connected with Quanon, and Quanon is a blue dragon from Sirius, if I remember correctly, or maybe he was connected to Andromeda. It's been a while now since I first connected with him, and there's been so many other dragons that have come into our awareness and reaching out and telling us about all these connections. And then Frederic, who is a soul dragon for me. It's almost like they're making me growl a little bit with my voice. Very interesting. But Frederic is a soul dragon for me, and he's a red fire dragon. So he's one of my aspects, and he's here in this lifetime to assist me with, making all of these various dragon connections. So that's another interesting thing. Now, Susan, when she and I and several others had gone to Mount Shasta for conference events, because I do conferences, and we're starting to broaden that out, and we're looking to do a few next year. But when we were in Mount Shasta, there was an earth dragon when we were right at the headwaters for the Sacramento River. And I think we wrote it down, but of course I didn't bring all my notes to be like, oh,
It's
and then this and then this. Andaris or
I think it's
Andaris?
no, I think it's yeah,
Andaris?
Andaris.
Andrus? No, it wasn't Andrus.
No,
Andaris or
it's
Andaris.
Andaris, I think. Andaris.
So
Yeah,
so
an
with
earth
that,
dragon.
that actually, while we were there the first time, I didn't have the experience, but we had gone there for a second event, and it was a smaller group, and primarily, yeah, it was all women, and there was a good number of us. And anyway, we were at the Sacramento headwaters. We were doing light language, we were toning, and then I saw this earth dragon, and I was like, oh wow. And then our dear friend Joan was right there, and she was like, look, she said, it's lighting up, the stones are lighting up. So she was seeing with her third eye this light vibration coming from the rocks that were in the water. And so we had collected water, and we were going to bring it back, but in the meantime we were all just kind of hanging out. It was a beautiful day. And so she's like, she grabbed a rock for her, and then she grabbed a rock for me, and she handed it to me. And so I was like, oh wow, very cool. So then I ended up bringing this rock home. Anyway, the event was wonderful and beautiful, and lots of fabulous experiences, high energy, incredibly high energy while we were there. And I tend to get all these downloads while I'm there, so sleep was a little bit short because you kept getting waken up from this galactic activity that's happening too. So our dragon friends aren't just our earth dragons, but of course you've got your air and fire and water, and the etheric, the galactic, the crystal. They're different colors depending on what the experience is and what they're doing. But anyway, it was about a week later or something. I had the rock, and I had put it with like the rest of my crystals, and I have my crystal skulls and my dragon skull, and I set it with my crystals, and then again sitting at my desk right where I am now, but go through my kitchen and then go into my family room. So I had gone up, and I was gonna, just because I like to take a break and I like to go step outside. So I went past my kitchen into my family room, or my where all my table and everything. It's my coffee table's got all my crystals and stuff set up. And then all of a sudden, wham, I got hit with that very wet, earthy smell that was that same smell as when I first got the rock. And so I was like, wait, what? So, and I recognized the smell. So I went right back over to the rock, and I picked it up and stuck it to my nose. Of course, it's very dry at this point. And I was like, nope, the rock is not giving the smell off. But when I walked into the room, that odor just went whoosh. It just hit me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, okay, this is incredible. So then I actually took the rock later. So I went outside and did some grounding, and just, hung out outside for a little bit, came back in, and I picked the rock up, smelled it again. And then I went back and stuck it under the water, and it had a little bit of that wet kind of earthy smell, but not like it was when I first got it, and not like it was when I had smelled I can't remember the exact Claire for smelling things with your nose, but whatever it is, Claire, or this, or I don't know, whatever it is. So whatever it is. So then I was like, okay, so it's not exactly this rock, but so then I was like, okay. And immediately I started thinking about the dragon, Andrus, the earth dragon that we saw. And I was like, okay, so why is he reaching out to me? So then as we were channeling and getting messages, I was asking, why is he reaching back out to me? And why did I smell his scent so strongly? And the reason was that they wanted us to send our light and love to help support them for this work. So, really, I think the important thing to remember is, with all of your dragon connections and all of these guardian connections, because the guardians could be coming to you in a different manner than how they're coming to us. Sometimes it can be, our earth guardians can actually be even animals that have passed, and their presence is still here on earth, giving their energy and reaching out, like the the blue gorillas from Sirius. Their energy is here, but it's etherically here. And so you might be connecting with blue gorillas, or like the jaguar being that I saw. I know that we've had the experience with a regular colored jaguar, but I had an experience with a very almost like a zebra striped jaguar that had like tiger coloring, but not orange. It was more like a yellow, a standard, kind of a leopardy looking jaguar, or maybe leopard kind of face. But anyway, those animals are also earth guardians, and I'm sure some would say that our whales and our dolphin friends are also guardians of the water. So, they're really asking us to connect in more, to send them love and light. And especially, you're a light worker, you're an energy worker, that you've got these connections. Just I encourage you to, reach out and make these connections further. But Susan, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we've only had just wonderful, loving, beautiful experiences with the dragons and other nature beings, including the Earth Guardians. And um, yeah, we've connected. I've had dreams with like gnomes in them or galactic beings, or I've seen dragons and what they look like when I channel. Um, yeah, and my first experience with my first dragon guide, who's a white dragon, the North Altea, she showed me a close-up of the profile of her face, and she was kind of a silvery grayish white, and I looked in her eye, and like close up, it looked like the northern night. It looked like the northern lights over a night sky over um the ocean by Norway, where these
Yeah,
dragons
beautiful.
are beneath that area. And um yeah, it was one of the most beautiful experiences to date, like seeing this vision of like the northern lights within her eye. And so that was my introduction to my first dragon. And then I have a connection to and her name's Altia, and the king of the white dragons of the north, Donner, who
Donner.
others channel as well. I channeled him, and then I started one day speaking baby dragon light language out of the blue, and found out that there's three baby dragons that are Altias and Donners. My dragon guides named Alicia, Trador, and Gracine. And so maybe they'll come through later, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a
And
very
it's kind of funny
beautiful,
because
yeah,
I think
light
it was after
language.
we did our dragon events when we got our baby dragons, because I had gotten the
Yeah,
two, Leah and Liam, and they actually told me to name my dragons. So instead of them giving me names, so I don't know if I got them as little egg hatchlings or what, and they're here to help learn from us and experience and participate. So they come in already with their wisdom and knowledge. So that's really cool. But go
yeah.
ahead.
And yeah, I've been told I have a lifetime as a chameleon dragon, which I'm still delving into. And then I just a few days ago found out I have an emerald dragon from the Emerald Order, that wishes to connect with me. That is named. I got the name C4. I wasn't given the name. Same thing. I was told to connect and find the name. And so through my because I did like psychic mediumship for like 10 years before, it's like now with my channeling as a conscious channel, um, it like blends your psychic mediumship abilities, animal communication, telepathic abilities, um, like it all. And as a conscious channel, you're still kind of consciously aware. You're in kind of like a relaxed meditative state where you set aside your consciousness as like an observer, and you let a being come in. After you can set protections for yourself, but you let the being come in and speak through you, but you're still somewhat, consciously aware of what's going on. Which is different than a trance channeler, where usually a trance channeler completely steps out their consciousness and goes somewhere else, and they come back afterwards and they have no recollection of what was said through them. And so I think, yeah, so most of us our conscious channels. And but we've been practicing for years now to keep our ego out of it, basically, and keep the messages pure that come through us. And but we'll get like a vision in our minds of what the beings look like, and we'll feel what their energetic
Their
signature,
energy, yeah.
their
I
energetic
usually feel their
signature.
energy. Mhm.
Yeah. So, and then yeah, so
So
it's just been
we also
evolving.
connected. We also
Yeah.
connected with the new Earth dragons too. So Rock was one of them. He's a silver dragon, and then we connected. Well, I ended up connected, surprisingly, not surprisingly, with a golden dragon from Venus called Shina Ra. And we've since been aware of another dragon also from Venus, a masculine dragon, Kana Ra, who has recently been channeled by our friend Jim Charles. And so that was interesting to kind of find those connections as
And
well.
and
And
Jade by the Sea, or
Jade by the
or
Sea.
Jade of the Sea from
Jade, it actually is of the
Ireland.
sea.
Yeah, because we were trying to remember her name
I
yesterday.
actually wrote down of the sea and I was like, wait, what was that first part? Because they just started having me write down.
It just
And
came to me. Yeah.
she's a green ancient dragon. I I know that I had picked her up when we were in Ireland, and I just knew it was, you know, Jade by the Sea, and I really didn't have the details. And I don't know that I put the two of them together until like literally just now.
Yeah, the name popped in my head with my claircognizance, like boom.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
literally wrote of the sea in my notes, and I wrote an underline, and I was like, wait, what was that first part? So yeah, so that's fun. But that's also an interesting thing too. Susan and I, since we've been doing our different events and doing our channeling submissions, um, we've developed this very strong telepathic connection. And so sometimes, you know, she'll be thinking something and then all of a sudden, boom, I'll start talking about it, or I'll be thinking something and boom, she starts either answering it or, you know, talking about it, or she'll say something and I'll be like, oh, I was just going to say that, you know, or, you know, so that's been kind of exciting to see that telepathic connection grow as well. And I'm guessing that many of you are starting to experience that too, where you know, you think you're hearing something and you're like, wait, what was that? Was that my own thought? And you're like, okay, I didn't think that, like, where did that come from? Like, who said that? So, you know, always use that discernment that if it's positive and loving energy and you're putting protection around yourself, you're grounding, you're working with white light, the light of God, chances are your messages are going to be from your guide team, your angelic and your galactic teams, and your earth teams. So, but yeah, I think we're, unless you have anything else to say, we can probably bring Margaret on. And Margaret, thank you so much for waiting. Although you have dragon experiences too, so maybe if you want to say anything about your dragon experiences before we move into the meditation.
Well, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Margaret. So, my experience with dragons is I have been connected to dragons for several lifetimes now. Most recently, I discovered I was a pink love dragon in Atlantis. But being born the year of the dragon, I have ironically connected to dragons on and off my entire life. So that is my experience with dragons. Would you like to go with the meditation now?
Absolutely, that would be wonderful.
Greetings, dear one. Welcome to the dragon realm. We would like to introduce ourselves to you, as we would like to break the illusion that several people have of us. We are not just flying in the skies, or hiding out in caves with buried treasure. As fairy tales may have told you, quite frankly, we are everywhere. We may not always be physically present, however. Sometimes our energies are in everyday things like snow, ice, fire, metals, air, oceans. We are even high up into the mountains. We are beneath the ground and above it. Sometimes we are even in front of your very eyes. We have many jobs, but most importantly, we are the alchemists of the spiritual kingdom. Transmuting energies worldwide that don't serve any good to the earth and helping out the galaxies all over. We bring about positive energies to everyone so you may manifest your heart's desires. And we love helping you connect to your soul's destiny. Join us now in this brief meditation. We have provided for you. Be still and let the cosmic energies unfold into your own unique energy now. Whoops. What are you doing? All right. Take a deep breath and visualize a pink ray of light coming to you now. This is to remind you of the love we share for you and others. Now take a deep breath and visualize a golden ray of light come up from your feet, up into your legs, up into your hips, up into your belly, now into your chest, up into your shoulders, into your neck, now into your head, now just above it is a white light doing the exact opposite of what you just experienced. Coming from the top of your head down to your feet and back up again. Both of these energies now are circulating in your heart center, almost like they are both coming together, merging as one, removing any self-sabotage programming you may have. We are removing all of your heart walls now. Connecting you to the unconditional love that you are now. Now that's just a small glimpse of your personal power. Let us continue now. We are going to invite the dragons in and clear each one of your 7 main chakras now. First dragon that will come to you is the ruby red dragon. This dragon will help you clear out any old programming in your root chakra now. And this energy will keep you grounded and connected to Mother Earth. We will now remove programs you've had that have kept you in survival mode, as we wish you to thrive as a warrior now. Breathe in that ruby ray energy now. Take a moment to take a deep breath. Breathe out. Visualize all the energy that is no longer needed at this time, removing itself. Visualize a smoke coming out as you breathe out. Breathe in and out as often as you need to. Let us help you by saying these affirmations to open your root chakra. I am connected to my body. I am healthy. I am safe. I am grateful. I am independent. I have access to all the resources I need to survive and thrive. My body always takes care of me. I build my life on the foundation of faith, peace, love, and trust. I trust the blessings in store for me. I am connected to all that is around me. I trust the process of life. I am safe and secure. Sit with that ruby red energy for a moment. Continue to release out whatever needs removed. We are now going to slowly move up and go to the orange dragon. This one will work on your sacral chakra. Allow this orange dragon to send you its beautiful orange ray light now. Let us begin the affirmations to help you clear out any old energy in your sacral chakra now. Creativity flows freely through my words. I am worthy of unconditional love. I welcome my emotions. Limitless joy is my birthright. My emotions are free-flowing and balanced. My sexuality is sacred. I am comfortable with my sexuality.
是
I have
Hello
a mindset.
喂，
I will not allow others to violate my boundaries. I respect other people's boundaries. I am confident about my body. I attract like-minded people who support and love me for who I am now. Take a deep breath. Sit with this beautiful orange ray. Continue breathing in and out. Next, we're going to visit the golden dragons. This is our solar plexus energy. This will help you connect yourself with your own personal power and strengths. Let us begin. Visualize the golden dragons now sending you a golden ray light. Let them remove anything that is keeping you from stepping into your power. I will repeat these affirmations now. I am aligned with my purpose. I am motivated, persistent, and successful. I am confidently welcoming new experiences now. I embrace joy and optimism. My self-esteem grows stronger every day. I have the courage and confidence to accept my dreams as reality. My soul is radiant. My body is strong. And my mind is brilliant. I am my highest and most authentic self now. Continue to allow this beautiful golden ray energy clear out your solar plexus for a moment. We are now going to meet the emerald green dragon. And we are going to fill your heart chakra with green energy now. Here are your heart chakra affirmations. I am aligned with the highest frequency of love. My heart is open, loving, and pure. I cultivate deep courage and compassion within my body, mind, and spirit. I choose compassion over judgment. I can forgive myself and others. I embrace both my gifts and imperfections equally. I love every part of me fully and unconditionally. I am worthy of abundance now. Continue breathing in and out. We have 3 more chakras to clear out. Next, we will visit with an aquamarine dragon who will help you clear out your throat chakra. This will help you remove any blocks from speaking and hearing the truth. Now imagine this beautiful sky blue energy coming to you now. Let's go through the affirmation. I now speak with calm, clarity, and confidence. I find creative ways to express myself. It is safe for me to speak my truth. My voice, my words, my ideas, and my presence all matter. The world needs the magic inside me. I live an honest, authentic, wholehearted life. I attract people who appreciate and respect my truth. Continue now with the beautiful aquamarine dragon. Breathe in and out. Next, we will meet the indigo dragons and clear out your third eye chakra. Let the indigo dragons clear out your third eye now as I repeat these third eye affirmations now. I see and think clearly, and I see things with clarity and understanding. My mind is clear and focused, and I am mentally sharp and alert. I am aligned with my authentic self-expression. I am open to receiving divine inspiration and insight. And I am open to new ideas. I trust my intuition and inner wisdom. I always make decisions that align with my true purpose. I am an extension of the universe. I am connected to my higher power. I can manifest my visions. I release all blockages that obscure my inner guidance system now. At last, we are now going to visit the violet flame dragon and clear your crown chakra. This will be the final clearing for the evening. Visualize a violet ray light coming towards you now, just above your head. Take a deep breath as I read these affirmations. Let's open up your crown chakra. I am connected to the universe. I am aligned with my purpose. I am open to divine wisdom. I honor the divine within me. Eternal peace flows through me now. I freely let go of all attachments. I release doubt and welcome faith. I live in the present moment. I am worthy of unconditional love from divine energy. I am aligned with my soul's purpose and truth. I surrender now to the loving will of the universe. And so it is. Continue letting the violet dragon do its work as we say our goodbyes. We will slowly disconnect from you. We want you to remember that you are all powerful beings of light, and you can come to us with any guidance you need at any time to help you along your destiny and manifest all things you wish for. But for now, we will disconnect. As we count backwards from 10, you will slowly come back to your body. 10, 9, 8. Continue breathing slowly in and out. 7, 6, 5, continue letting go of all things that no longer serve you now. 4, 3, 2. Remember, if you wish to, remove your fear mindset. You must love yourself. Love, after all, is the highest vibration there is. One. This is the end. Goodbye, dear ones. Until we meet again, slowly open your eyes.
Give everyone a minute to come back to themselves. Wiggle those fingers and toes. That was beautiful, Margaret. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. I'm being guided to read one of these soul truth cards.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you want, after you pull it, if you want to come back to show us the card,
Sure, absolutely.
that would be great.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Okay, so how can I be more flexible right now? The message is, what are you trying to control? Maybe it's time to let go. Let love move through you today and trust the outcome will be for your highest good. Your soul action is to remind yourself all day that you are safe, that life is happening for you, and that you are not alone. Do what makes your soul happy. Okay.
All right. Here's one thing that makes my soul happy. Ta-da! So this is Victor, and I initially got him a couple of years ago when I was doing a lot of writing and reading, speaking light language. It's funny they said reading, so apparently I'm reading my light language too. But I drew him, and apparently because we had been doing like a lot of work with ley lines and amidst our travels and that, he just wanted to kind of give like a thanks, like a gratitude, and so that's why he kind of came and showed up in this image. And originally I drew him with, just pastels and colored pencils, but then I was inspired to turn him into an acrylic painting. And so that's what that was my acrylic painting. But did anybody happen to get images or their own messages whilst they were getting going through the meditation? I know my whole body was just vibrating and I could feel the energy moving through each section. Sometimes I was getting like visions of like the different colors would be like streamed in. It would be like, and then it would go away.
Yeah,
So,
even my cats felt that one.
yeah, so yeah, that was very powerful.
Yeah,
Did anyone?
I was feeling a lot of heat, like initially when we're doing the root chakra and into the sacral. Like I was, yeah, I just felt a wave of heat come over me, and like before, before we were having that experience too. But then it went away, and yeah, during the meditation came back, and a lot of yawning. So, like when we channel or do light language to kind of attune our energies to the beings that we channel, sometimes you'll see us doing yawning while we're preparing for channeling, and it's just adjusting our energies, kind of like tuning a radio station to have a clear connection, like whatever beings we're connecting with. Well, that's just one way of releasing energy or adjusting energy while we get into the channeling state. So shall we start channeling or doing,
Yeah,
or,
definitely. Did
or
anybody else want to
yeah, if anybody
come
else
off
has any,
mute and make a remark? We're happy to have you add your remark.
either if you've had
Oh,
experience
here,
with dragons or, or other nature beings that you'd like to share, feel free.
Well, yeah, my soul dragon actually, the ancient dragon came so strongly. And her name is Belcor.
Wow.
And an ancient one that's already integrated to my soul. That's what it explained to me, that they can come in if I wanted to let them come. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it
But
does.
they're not in, but they're already in my soul, if
With the
I
soul group,
wanted to.
yeah.
Yeah, they're working already, like, because they're so ancient. I don't know how is this,
Well, you could
but
have like a soul dragon form, or like
yeah,
an aspect of your soul that is like a dragon form, and not everybody has that. But if you have connections to dragons, usually you have
if you
a
want them
soul
to,
dragon aspect of your soul.
I think if you
Your
want them
soul.
to activate it and, coming work with you again, I guess they can be at present at the same time.
Yeah, well, very exciting. You probably had your
Yes.
heart racing and a lot of energy then.
Yeah, it was a lot of energy in my body. That's like it, it feels like so heavy. It is in my, I can't feel it all the way in my spine, especially when he was clearing all after the clearing of chakras. That's ooze of energy in my body is so kind of, it feels like you want to hold this, okay, that's enough. It feels like, you're gonna bend down, what you call, I don't know, is, but because it's so strongly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I say.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Well, yeah, that's why I said thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Did
Yeah.
anybody else have anything that they wanted to share? Willow, David, William?
Hello.
Hello, greetings.
Yeah, this is Tree
Oh, Tree,
from
hey.
Taiwan. Yeah, you can hear, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you for being
Yes.
here.
Okay, I almost missed the meeting because it's quite early here, and
Well,
Oh,
Well, we had a
I
late
only
start because
okay, I
some
only
had,
joined maybe half hours ago, but it's quite amazing. Like if I only joined from the throat chakra and the crown chakra, and I got a feeling like before I feel the angel talk to me. That kind of feeling is like when you are guided the meditation, and I have the feeling it's not from you, it's from the angel. And I have this kind of feeling before. It's like from the voice from heaven.
oh, yes. Beautiful. Well, they definitely work together, and oftentimes we'll have dragons and angels and galactics within our light teams, and one may come through stronger than another because that's what we allow based off of how we feel connected within our own hearts and within, you know, sometimes our mind limitations based on what we'll allow to come through. But since we were working so strongly with the dragons, um, I'm I'm sure that their presence was there, and
And
it's
actually, when I was lying down here during the meditation, and I feel the dragon is surrounding with me. I always have this kind of image, like they are floating around me, and the image
they're
come
very
out again.
loving.
Yeah, during the meditation.
oh
They're
beautiful.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing.
they're here to like raise the level of consciousness on the planet right now, and they're kind of coming back to assist humanity. That, you know, at one time they were on the planet in ancient times, but then when people started to turn against them or hunt them or whatever, I mean, they basically ascended to a higher dimensional level off planet, but they're coming back to help humanity as we raise our level of consciousness and like open our hearts more to them and kind of welcome them back. So yeah, so we've like I don't think we've ever had any negative connection to the dragons or other nature beings that we've connected with. It's all been loving and beautiful and very heart opening, you know. So it's been wonderful. So we got a late start today because I
Yeah,
think
so we're
so
Where
we
you
haven't
share
even
the
got to
recording,
channeling yet. So
where you share recording for the whole thing.
yes,
yes, we'll share it.
we will
Mhm.
share the
Okay,
recording out on our YouTube channel, but also to everybody that signed up. I will share out the recording. I'll send it out on the same email I sent the reminder earlier. So,
all
um,
right,
so
great.
Yeah.
you arrived at the right time because we got a later start, so you didn't, you know, miss too much. So
Yeah, I
we'll
almost
still get
3 hours late, and it's quite surprising you guys still here.
Well,
So I was
yeah.
well,
happy.
it's funny because we ended up having some technology issues and ended up starting very late. So it worked out to everyone's benefit. I'm glad. So
Divine
where,
intervention.
yeah,
Yes.
right. Divine intervention. Now, where are you connecting in from?
I'm from Taiwan.
From
Oh,
Taiwan? Oh,
awesome.
wonderful to have you here.
Awesome. I used to have a manager from Taiwan and
Uh,
shared wonderful stories. So
It's really because I had that kind of feeling, the voice from angel from heaven. It's like when I just awakened, it's the first time. Like
Oh,
awesome.
like it's almost 5 years ago, and this remind me again like they are talking to me because certain words the meditation I mentioned is just reflect to what I'm doing now. It's kind of reminding to me and tell me to continue. And yeah,
wonderful. It's a
Awesome.
beautiful love energy that they brought out. So I can see how you're getting that connection again. So I'm glad that experience is happening for you again.
mhm.
Willow, I see that you look like you're getting ready to say something as well.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you started late. I came in a bit late, but not too late. I managed to come in for the sacral chakra, which is awesome because that's where I really needed it. And boy, did I get a big hit on that. And I happen to be wearing orange today. Orange has become a real colour for me lately. And interestingly enough, because I've become aware for some time that my dragon aspect is orange. So when I come into my dragon aspect, I'm orange, which is probably why I've had this attraction for more and more orange clothing in my wardrobe lately. But yeah, I really enjoyed that meditation. Thank you, Margaret. I thought I'd get a big hit on the throat chakra, but I didn't, which was quite a surprise. As far as dragon experiences, you guys probably already know some of the stuff I've experienced since I moved to this location that I'm in now. I've been here 2 years now, and I've had 3 dragon experiences where I've been guided to work on particular locations where there are dragons actually trapped within stone, within rock. And I thought that was rather odd. Like, I thought, wow, they're big and they're powerful. How did that happen? But it turned out it was a result of black magic. So that's what the channeling came through as I was sort of doing the work. So I've got a 3rd job. I don't yet know where that's going to be or what it's going to be about, but I know there's one more coming. So I'll wait to see where the dragons guide me in the future.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I remember channeling something about the dragons in the mountains in that region when you first
Yes.
moved in that area, wanted you to connect with them, and
Yes, that was the first one.
that was part of it. Yeah, I remember that.
Mm.
So
Yeah, the second one was there was a location I kept thinking I wanted to go to, and I kept putting it off. Eventually, I had a friend come and visit to stay with me, and then I went, and I realized it was because I'd received the message that I needed to have somebody with me to kind of act as my, I don't know, guardian, if you will, but just while I was doing the work, so I wouldn't be interrupted. And so we went off, and we both picked a spot like that we thought was where they were trapped. It was interesting because I'd say like, well, I think it's over there, and she's like, that's exactly where I'm getting. And then when I went through the process and I had visuals in my head, and I'd sort of stop and I'd say, this is what I'm seeing, and she was saying, I see the same thing. So it was kind of nice to be validated. I'm not making this stuff up. But I expected the first dragon that came out, I thought was it. And I was really surprised because when he was sent off flying into the air, and I looked back to the rock face where he'd come out, and I saw another one just coming out, and I saw also in my mind's eye there were 3 lined up behind it. So in total there were 5 that were released with that particular work that I did then. And then I was told there was going to be some baby ones, and there was 4 of those, and that was over near a waterfall. And they were the cutest little things. Yeah, it was so cute. They were like trying to fly, but their wings were too little and they couldn't. But they were jumping up and down. It was hilariously to like see them like there. And the more they jumped, their wings sort of grew bigger with each jump until eventually they were large enough to actually carry their weight, and they flew off up into the sky. And they said they were going to stay in that area to protect and watch over it. That sort of waterfall, it's within a forest area, so that was nice. And I don't know what the next one's going to be. I haven't been given any more information, but I love all these adventures that I'm being sent on.
awesome. Yeah, I just recently found out about an emerald dragon, as that's part of the Emerald Order that's helping with the ascension of consciousness on the planet. And I just heard that this last Saturday that there was an emerald dragon that wished to connect with me, and I connected with him after that and got his name as C4. So yeah, I have a new dragon that showed up that I'm just starting to connect with. So, and we were talking earlier about the baby dragons that we connect with too, and that we speak their light language sometimes.
He must be really explosive. C4.
Yeah.
The dragon. Really powerful.
Not spelled that way, but yes. Not the explosive kind.
I like to do some light language, and if you want me to.
Yeah, I think we're actually at a point where we'll do some light language and then we'll go into channeling. I know I have a little bit of background noise here. So Susan, if you want to start with channeling ahead of me once light language is done.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay.